So anyway, Gorilla had to speak to some college, which how he got involved in speaking to colleges, I don't know.
How were you invited?
You're the least articulate of the show.
Okay, I'll take that. But
of course you'll take that. It's true.
So it's just like it's a college radio convention that they have every year.
Oh.
And Gary was doing it, and they
and what does Gary do there?
Gary speaks about producing the show and stuff like that.
Gee, I wish I had a tape of that. Never mind you.
You do. You should have a tape of it. I don't know if it's on there. But and they wanted someone to speak about internships, and Gary said, "What about me?" And they asked me, and I did it.
Well, you are an intern. And what happened? Christine was out there with her friends?
Yeah.
It was her school or something?
No, it was at...
Christine heard about it.
And she put it together. She actually went out and wrote bad questions.
I think she keeps Gorilla around to goof on.
Exactly.
Mascot.
And all her friends were asking goofy questions, and he was getting really burned.
It was worse than just all her friends. She planted a bunch of her friends, but then she didn't feel she had enough. So as strangers walked into the room, she said, "Psst, come here." And she said, "Could you do me a favor? We're playing a joke. Could you ask him a question?" So she just rounded up plain old strangers.
So I handed them cards, too.
Were you embarrassed? Because this was a big moment for you talking.
No, it wasn't. I didn't think it was a big moment. I expected it because you guys wanted to do this to Gary.
No, we heard that you didn't have a clue that this was happening.
No,
Robin, let me say this. The day before he gave this speech, he was very nervous, and he said, "I don't know what I'm going to say. I have to go home and write my speech." And he said, "I might get goofed on because this happened before."
Oh.
So I expected it, but I didn't. I thought you guys were going to do it because last year Sandy was supposed to do that to Gary, and Sandy was talking to Fred about doing it.
And you were probably thinking Christine was swooning while she was watching you.
Absolutely not.
You were trying to impress her.
No.
I'll tell you.
I was like kind of bummed that she came out. I was like, because I knew I was probably going to make an idiot of myself, but I.
Well, let's find out if you did.
I'll tell you one thing, Howard. If he was expecting it, he certainly didn't act like a guy who was prepared.
Right, because he was getting thrown.
Now, this is Gorilla's opening statement, which he had on ripped out of a loose leaf notebook.
No, it was on the back of a fax.
On the back of a fax.
All right, so he had written an opening statement.
Yes.
Here we go. The much anticipated Steve Grillo. The great orator, Steve Grillo, addressing an audience of young college students.
I was really, really nervous.
Right.
Big dry mouth. And it's been great. It's been an excellent opportunity. I'll turn it over to Steve Gorilla first, and then we'll turn it over to John. They'll just tell you a little bit about who they are and how they got where they are, and then we'll just open it up for questions.
How they got where they are, which is nowhere.
How they got where they are. Well, the guy comes in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, works for free. Nobody respects him. How he got where he was. Yeah, he got here on the subway. Good night. That's interesting. Big build-up. Like, we don't just take anybody.
Yeah.
And how we got to it. In fact, we didn't even want to hire Gorilla.
Gorilla had to qualify.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wolf. I was going to start out with a joke. This whore walks into a bar with a poodle underneath her arm. My name's...
I'm totally uncomfortable.
What is he doing?
Non sequiturs. Nobody understands what he's doing.
There's not a laugh in the house. Not a laugh in the house. You don't hear a peep.
Well,
like a morgue.
I thought I would lighten it up with a little bit of jokes.
Humor. Thought I'd open up with a little jokes.
Little jokes.
Guy walks into a whorehouse.
Guy walks into a bar with a poodle on her top.
No, just kidding. I'm sorry.
He lost confidence halfway through it.
I didn't have confidence to begin with.
Yeah, but why'd you do a Jackie impression? Why don't you just go up and talk? That's all. They just want to hear what you do.
Be yourself.
Yeah. And you at least have a joke. If you're going to say, I'm going to start off with a joke, do it. If you're going to do it in Jackie's voice, have a joke. Commit to it.
Hey! But you got to explain it.
All right. I've never done this before, so...
Yeah. But you never spoke to people before?
Not in front of a big audience like that.
Not in front of a big audience.
Be yourself, even if being yourself is like the lowest thing in the world.
I was going to say, even when Jackie's a step up, be yourself.
Right.
Grillo, and I started out about 2 years working on... working for the Howard...
Wait, what did he say? Wait, Frank. Calm down for a second. I want to hear every nuance of this.
Is that as loud as you can make it?
Did he say, I'm sorry?
No, I started out working on something.
Wait.
I walks into a bar with a poodle underneath her arm. No, my name's Steve Grillo, and I started out about 2 years working on... Thanks. Working for the Howard Stern Show.
What are you saying?
What's that?
I don't remember the situation why.
Hey, you a loser.
I think he was pausing for applause that wasn't there.
No.
My name is Steve Grillo.
I couldn't talk. It wouldn't come out.
Wooden dog.
But what was the thanks for? Did somebody?
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
But they didn't shoot him.
Thank you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for not shooting me.
Oh, man, that's great.
Oh, come on. And I started out about 2 years working on... Thanks. Working for the Howard Stern show. It started out where I was listening to the show one day, and I found out Howard had mentioned the address of the radio station. It was on Madison Avenue, and Hunter College is only on Lexington, so I decided to see where it was, and I found it's only 10 blocks from my school. So then I heard Gary mention they were looking for internships and interns, and I sent in a resume, and unfortunately I didn't get called the first time, but I didn't get discouraged, and that was like in March.
What a resume.
The best part to me is how he discovered where we were. He's like a great explorer.
Yeah, Columbus.
He was at Hunter. We were on Madison. It was only 10 blocks away.
Magellan.
So I started out with my scout.
Yeah, it was Bezizdin.
I got out my gumbas.
My gumbas. Where's my gumbas? I had a lot of Bezizdins.
And a lot of gummies.
I didn't get discouraged.
I didn't get discouraged. I thought it was March.
He's going through all this for a job that pays nothing. Imagine when he has to look for a real job.
I did not get picked the first time.
Yeah, to work for free.
Much to my chagrin.
I don't know if I'd brag about that.
I sent him my resume.
I'm not a quitter. I'm really not a quitter.
It was only 10 blocks away. I could find it.
I could find a building.
How did I get in the Howard Stern show? I turned right at Lexington.
World, here I come.
You know, he's been waiting a month for this.
I haven't been waiting.
And it's so much worse.
Is it worse than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
You didn't think it was going to be this bad?
I know. I anticipated this.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let's see, 597, 5...
Oh, we haven't even gotten to Christine's questions yet. She's probably dancing back there.
So, I'm real nervous, obviously.
I just say, I gotta. How many people are watching him? This is some speech.
I got to tell you, it's only like 40 or 50 people.
Are you really nervous?
A big crowd like
you got to pee in your pants or something?
No, I just couldn't talk. I was whatever.
I was dung-dyed. I was dung-dyed.
I was dung-dyed.
Didn't get discouraged, and that was like in March. So I'm real nervous, obviously. So come the following.
See how you bowled us over.
September, I heard they were looking for another internship, so I sent another resume and a letter, which luckily got Gary's attention, and I got called for an interview. And finally,
It's the only letter we got.
I was excited to get the interview, and I tried to be, professional and stuff, and I walked in.
Professional and stuff.
Yeah, I tried.
I tried to be professional and...
But I had the stage fright.
Yeah.
Be, professional and stuff, and I walked in, and Gary had a totally shaved head. And, that was the first time I had seen Gary, and the only time I had seen him was on TV, and he had, really long curly hair, and here I am looking Gary in the face, and he's bald, and I almost bit a hole in my lip, from trying to stop laughing so much.
Yeah, I guess when you do, that's the one good thing about his speech. He is on it. When you see Gary the first time in person, it is.
No, he told me the day after, not the first time ever.
I think when these people just see you. Because you get hypnotized by the teeth and the gums and the...
You sort of get caught up in that when you...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Keep talking in turn.
The teeth and the gums. Because you can't believe it, right?
It's kind of distracting at first.
No. And did you have your mustache shaved off at that point?
No.
No?
No, just the bald head.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden his face is even more prominent.
He had his bald head. And his big deed.
So it was the hardest interview that I ever had to go through, because every time Gary looked away, I kind of chuckled. So I did this.
Now you're rolling.
They're with me now.
I did the interview with Gary, and it went really well. But he had picked someone else. But he seemed to be interested in me because he said.
It's like listening to a retard.
What are you talking about?
Wait till he relaxes during Q&A and the profanity starts.
Oh, really? Let me take a break. We'll get back to this.
Yeah, this is too good.
Yeah, I just have to digest what I've heard so far.
It's like this intruder film.
Yeah.
What time is it?
We'll be back right after this. Now we're back with Steve Grillo, listening to his college tapes. He gave a lecture to college students, and we're in the middle of it, and it's very funny.
And he is a college student.
Right. Yeah. He's king of all college. You can't, really, you can't even talk.
Okay. So some people aren't able to articulate it.
No, but I mean, your dream was to be on the radio.
No.
Well, you said when you came to us, you said you want to be on the radio.
No,
what was in that letter you wrote to Gary? They got you an interview.
I said I wanted to work. I would very much like to work for the show, basically.
The show.
I wish we could get that letter.
No. Come on.
The show. Hey, where's his letter?
Oh, come on. The tapes have been enough. Let's just stick to the tapes. The tapes are great. Play the tapes.
How you can see why he got rejected. You should have read the letter, to be honest.
Yeah.
You should see why he got rejected. It was like the letter from a mental patient.
He said...
This is a speech.
Now that Steve's reminding me of this, I get a ton of people asking about doing internships, and I tell everyone, send in a resume. This was back in the early days, and I remember vividly now, Steve sent in, he had torn, 2 pieces of paper out of a spiral notebook, cut the edges off, and so they all went like that.
Why do you guys do this?
What, just explain what's...
No, why do you guys go to college? What is this again?
It's for the International Broadcasting Society.
Why do you do this?
Because it's good. It helps people. I went to a seminar like this.
Did you think this helps people?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
With a pair of scissors, and it was handwritten with a lot of cross-outs and everything. But you know what? I remember it was a really heartfelt letter about how he really wanted to be in radio and how much it meant to him. And even though there were a lot of other people whose resumes were typed up really nice, there was something about Steve's resume that
Gary,
was really...
this is my staff.
Gary sounds wacky, too.
I know.
He took a letter that was handwritten with cross-outs.
Because it made him feel superior.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to show someone who at least shown a little initiative and, got their resume printed up?
Yeah, you guys wouldn't know anything about somebody who was, who really wanted the job and you knew would come in every day and lacked some other skills. Besides, what we were asking him to do wasn't anything huge. He was monitoring.
So you're saying he had limited intelligence?
No, I didn't say that.
And you felt comfortable with it?
No, not at all.
That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't.
Maybe you don't mean to say it, but that's what you're saying. Hey, I selected it because I saw this guy had limited intelligence and we weren't asking him to do anything that great.
I said he lacked some skills, but he had a lot of heart, and I knew he would do a great job.
It sounded like he lacked all skills.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
no.
He ripped out a piece of paper.
He could read a clock and get here on time.
All right. I did good choosing, Wolf.
I just knew that he would die to do this internship and would do a great job for us, even despite the fact that the letter went like that.
Gary cracking himself up.
I did that in hope to get his attention because I figured everybody else was going to be sending these incredibly typed up resumes that were.
Wouldn't you at least not have crossouts on it? Wouldn't you want to write a note without crossouts?
Yeah, I guess I would. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have no idea.
I'll never forget one of the lines in this letter was something about...
Why would you put crossouts in a letter? Seriously.
I don't remember.
Wouldn't you at least say, hey, I better rewrite this? I have crossouts. I'm writing a letter.
You know what I did? I did it in class. I was in class and I just wrote it and I came right over here. I just wanted to do it. That's it. I just did it on the spur of the moment.
I see.
There was one line in the letter that said something to the effect of, Gary, I got something, it was heavy on my heart to work in radio or something like that.
I think I said I had a burning desire to
a burning desire in my heart to work on the show.
And you can't even talk.
Right. Yeah. So I did the interview with Gary, but he said, look, we still have some other stuff in the office that needs to be done. Give me a call in a couple of weeks. So I called him back, and I started out on the show by logging tapes that weren't logged. So I did that from about...
Logging tapes that wasn't logged.
I was logging tapes that wasn't logged.
Well, why would you log tapes that were logged?
I don't know. November to January, and then when that was done, Gary said, look, there's still...
Well, he's giving every detail.
Yeah.
I logged November to January.
And I took the tape and I put it into the tape player.
Boy, and I'm sure after a college kid hears this, they really want to be on radio. Yeah, I got to, write down some stuff about Howard for 6 months. I'm a logger. I wrote in the log.
Wasn't open, so why don't you go work in promotions? And I did, because I wanted to work for the show, but I wasn't going to give up, doing it. So
His dream.
while I was in promotions, I remember there was a lot of other interns there that were like, in promotions, they do a lot of promotional events outside the radio station, like concert halls, giving out bumper stickers, and it's kind of like crappy work, but everybody didn't want to do it. And remember, I was the only person that...
Everybody didn't want to do it.
See, I got handed out bumper stickers, but I had to log.
They got a lot of crappy work.
Yeah, I wanted to do good work, like work for free.
Yeah,
I want to work my way up to working for free.
I have to admit something to Steve right now. I didn't remember the story when he told it to me.
Yeah. Steve climbing the corporate ladder.
And if I sent him to promotions, it means that I just didn't want him.
Right.
But I must have liked him and brought him back.
Right.
Because usually that's where
he grew on you.
When somebody wants to work for me, I send them over there if we don't want them.
No. You said I was done logging the tapes, and you said, "Look, we have nothing else for you to do."
Nothing else for you to do.
You have nothing else.
Gary used to complain to me, hey, Steve's a Guido from Brooklyn.
That's true.
Go on.
That's true.
Far from being
Why
a Guido.
would I do that? I'm
Far from being a Guido.
Far from being a Guido.
Signed up for everything. No matter what it was, how stupid it was or anything, I was always there signing up for it. And I was always asking people if they needed help. Or, I tried to get my face and everything that happened at the radio station, and eventually paid off because there was an opening on the Howard Stern show, and Gary saw that I was always helping everybody out, and he asked me to come on.
Because what did?
Because he's on my vase.
My vase was in everything.
Your vase is your virgin.
I got my face in everything.
I was in there.
I was here. I was there. I was up. I was down. I was ooh. I was ha. I was here.
I was in every crappy thing.
I was
My
in every
vase.
grabbers.
My vase.
Grab a job, but my vase was in the grab.
So, it's tough because I have to be there at 5 in the morning, and I don't have a social life anymore, but it's the best internship I think that anybody could ever get.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't have a
part of it is
social
because
life.
these guys are the best.
Well, you were out drinking with Christine.
All night.
Okay.
Now that I got a place in the city, I'm able to have a social life.
Yeah.
People to work with. Even Stuttering John, as much as he busts my balls. But really, like work, like my I guess my title would be news intern.
Muse intern.
News intern.
Boy, you're really now you're yapping up a storm.
I'm starting to loosen up. Coming out with the news, I pull like interesting articles out of the paper.
That's the scariest part. He's working for you. Pulling out interesting articles.
You should see what interests.
What interests him? Hey, do you ever use anything he pulls out of the paper?
Occasionally,
Yeah.
sure.
One day you ought to just pull out what interests him.
Well, you heard him try to do the news one day. He didn't know what was interesting if his life depended on it.
You want to interview him for your book.
Maybe he's gotten better.
For her and, running around for Gary. And I guess my most important, most famous job is doing Howard's potatoes. So an internship...
He does that good.
That he does very well.
We're training him to be a waiter.
That can, stress from, doing menial work to, even helping Howard out. And I've been lucky enough to, I'm not exactly involved like they are, but I've interned for the, Bud Bongo. I did research for Howard's book, and I had the luck of interning for the pay-per-view, which was probably the best experience of my life. It's probably, internships. I know a couple people that have graduated already with a communications degree, and I said, what are you doing now? And I said, well, I'm looking for work. I said, you do any internships? And they said, well, no. I said, why not? They said, unfortunately, my school doesn't stress that.
Myself. Oh, man. This is unbelievable.
You're missing. He's already used the word stress wrong 3 times, and he uses it wrong throughout the entire interview.
What did he say?
You'd have to roll it back.
Stress? I don't know. He's a blur to me.
I love the I said and he said and I said.
So this guy says he's going to do an internship. So I says you're going to graduate. Did you do an internship? He says no.
No, I didn't.
So I says yes.
And then he retorted to me about it. And then I made a clever rejoin the bag.
And I wanted to stress to them.
And then when it's stressed, you see, I had to stress how.
How is this internship helping you get into radio? Is it really?
Well, I have a good resume, I guess.
Yeah?
Well, this is a top-rated radio show.
Oh, okay.
I was able to go out and find one on my own, but my school, if your school doesn't go and offer it to you, I would definitely stress go out and look for one. Because my school, I didn't know that you can get an internship.
He used it right.
No, that's how he did.
Through my school until I actually got an internship, and I had to go through all these different channels to go and say, look, I have an internship. What do I do to get credit?
Are people sleeping at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, are they like zoned out?
I guess so. Yeah.
They must have the same face that the audience of Saturday Night Live has after they do like a 30th bit of the night, like woozy.
You know, and it was really hard, but you know, I had to bust my balls, and I actually got, you know,
delegate
credit through the school.
This is a speech to college kids. I had to buzz my balls.
I had to buzz my balls.
I had to go through channels and buzz my balls.
So I said to myself, Steve, do you buzz your balls? And I said, yes, as long as I bring my vase down to the studio.
If they see my vase.
Yeah.
But if they don't stress it enough, I'll go out and get it on my own. Because to me, if I didn't have this internship and I graduated with a degree, I don't think you'd get anywhere. But like you're able to work with the people.
Steve, I didn't do an internship.
Well, that was back in what? 60s?
The Stone Age.
No, it was back in the. It was almost 1980. I mean, I was 1976. I graduated college.
Well, you know, you're a very talented guy. You didn't need to do it.
All right. Hey, I got a lot out of this. I got free hair for my head.
You know, I see it as I'm working with the best people in the industry, and nobody else is any better. And it kind of sucks because after this, everything else is going to be pretty boring. So I guess I'll turn it over to Stuttering John now, and he could try to say something.
He could try.
It'll take a long time.
Actually, his speech?
John's speech is long, but I think you should go right to Gorilla's question.
Yeah, all right. Let me take a break, and then we'll go right to where Christine's friends ask him questions. Right after these.
Guess what I was lucky enough to...
With the Howard Stern.
It's all right.
Guess what I was lucky enough to find in our files?
Oh, Steve Gorilla's letter?
Yeah. You could just go over the misspellings, but go to page 2 of the highlighted area for his heartfelt comments.
This is what Gorilla wrote to Gary to get the... This is the handwritten letter that has about...
Let me just see what Gary accepted.
You have to see this because you should see the amount. We circled every misspell. He misspells resume. You listen. Dear Mr. Delabate, I'm going to try to get right to the point. My name is Steve Grillo. I'm 19 and attending my second semester at Hunter College. I have not declared a major yet, but I am leaning toward communications. I am writing, W-R-I-T-T-I-N-G, this letter, hoping you will feel my sincerity. S-I-N-C-E-R-E-T-Y.
Sincerity.
I am an avid listener of the Howard Stern Show. I have already submitted a resume, R-E-S-U, with a thing over the U.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the little...
The accent is
over the U. Now, throughout the... But you got to see that this is a fun... I got to print this in a book somewhere.
Give it to me.
So, yeah, you can put it in your book. R-E-S-U, and over the U is the accent mark. Now, then he says... Then he says resume here, and this time he decides to put... He puts it over the U and puts it between the E and the S. Because he's gone to resume. So he has 2 apostrophe things coming out. Here's the word writing again with 2 T's. All right, let's see. Oh, I like this one. I wake up every day listening to the show, thinking about the experience. E-X-P-I-E-R-E-N-C-E.
Dyslexia, man. Come on.
No, it's called going to a dictionary.
Stupidity.
Like I said,
I wrote it in class.
I wrote it.
I woke up every day listening to the show, thinking about the experience I could get from being an intern. Like I said before, I know I have to start out at the bottom. And what a better place to start out on the bottom than with a show that's on top.
Yo.
I know I could tell you what a hardworking and devoted person I am, but I'm sure you'll hear that all the time. I'm also sure people are there just to say they work for the Howard Stern Show. I'm not looking for fame right now. I'm looking to learn. I have this desire inside of me that eats at me every day. You're a sick little dude.
What's wrong with that?
Because it just sounds so ridiculous. I have this desire inside of me that eats at me every day. At me.
It's an ulcer.
I mean, yeah. He told me he's in here. His stomach's getting all nervous because we're goofing on him.
Oh.
How bad is it?
It's pretty bad.
Well, what do you have to feel like you have duty or something?
No, it feels like I drank battery acid or something.
Really?
It really hurts.
You might have an ulcer.
No, I've been through that whole process of people checking for like that.
It's called going to the doctor.
Yeah, someone stuck a tube down my throat and they like x-rayed my stomach. I don't have one.
Really?
Not yet. After this, you'll have one.
Yeah. Just burn the whole thing right now.
Then he writes, I submitted my first resume. Now the word resume is broken down into 2 words. R-E-S-U with the thing over the U now, and then M-E is a separate word. So it's resume.
He's trying everything.
I figured maybe one of them got to be
How do you spell the word admit?
A-D-M-I-T-T.
Well, that's wrong. See, you spelled it wrong in here, too. It's 1, 2.
I have a very bad problem spelling.
A-D-M-I-D.
Like I...
Admit.
All right, let me continue with your lecture, because I like to know what my interns are doing when they go out and speak in public, representing the show.
Oh, boy.
Now it's question and answer. People are going to ask Gorilla questions.
Gorilla, how long have you been practicing? How long did you have to practice microwaving potatoes?
How long did you have to practice microwaving the potatoes before Howard let you do it?
That's the job of here on. How long did you have to practice microwaving potatoes?
Well, that's sort of like a job that's like sort of handed down. It started out with Stuttering John, but Howard caught him in the bathroom going to the, taking a and then not washing his hands and then doing the potatoes. What? So he sort of like got really pissed and he wasn't allowed to do it anymore. And then it was handed out to Ganji, but Ganji sort of like, he's unmotivated to do things, so Ganji down to me, and I sort of like just, it seems like a demeaning, is that the right word? Yeah. Demeaning job, but to me it's sort of
can't be any more a demeaning job. Cleaning toilets is a step up. But you do handle it well, at least. The other guys can't even get it together to do it.
I love how he's putting down the other interns.
Right.
I was
not
just
motivated.
No, but it's got me notoriety, and I'm in Howard's book, which is a #1 bestseller. And
Trust me, there's nobody. The interns aren't kicking the crap out of each other, going, "No, let me do the potatoes."
No, it was definitely. I'm the low man on the totem pole, and that's the low man on the totem pole's job. So, you got to do what you got to do.
You're talking about voices before. Are you the voice behind the Zima commercial?
No.
What did she say?
She asked if I was the voice on the Zima commercial.
What's the Zima commercial?
It's that new beer. That
commercial we run
clear.
a lot.
We run it?
It sounds like Grill. So, okay, so he laughs at that.
I thought it was funny.
Cute. It's cute now.
I'm not, but I think they did get that idea from me.
What's the Zima?
You didn't see that for the new bar? That new that's funny she said that. That new commercial for that stuff Zima. It's
Like beer, right?
This is all going on in front of an audience.
I know. I can't believe people stayed.
I can't believe parents are sending their kids to these lectures thinking they're going to learn something about radio from these guys.
I don't know. It's cream. I don't know. Can anybody give me a line from the commercial? It's clear malt. I can't. I don't know, but it has like a Z at the beginning, which very much sounds like the way I talk.
Grillo, you talked kind of extensively on the air about going to Atlantic City with the space alien. Why would you spend so much time and effort and not be interested in having sex with her?
Well, are you interested in having sex with every girl you go out with?
See, now the humor's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy said, "Why'd you go to Atlantic City with the space alien? Are you interested in having sex?" Now he's no longer amused.
You're not happy?
No, it was not. I just thought it was an odd question. And
Why though? I don't know what else people would ask you. I actually don't think these questions are so odd. What do you expect them to ask?
Well, then that's you, and that's not me.
The audience is attacking him.
Who said I wasn't interested? Maybe she wasn't interested.
Well, you never.
What? Well, I'm just saying. A matter of factly, I've never tried anything with her. For one, because she's a lesbian, and for two, I just hung out with her, and just stuff like that never happened. But
it's in front of an audience. He's yelling at them.
I could look at her and say, "Yeah, she's pretty." And
it's like opening up his whole life.
Yeah, I didn't know how to answer.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah,
she's pretty, but
yeah,
this is unbelievable to me.
Plus, I'd want to have sex with her, but I like hanging with her, and if that's going to screw it up, then why should I bother?
Give me this. All right, save them. Who else has a question? In the orange.
Aspire through this internship to become an on-air personality.
What did he say?
I have no idea.
Do you aspire to become an on-air personality?
Mr. Gorilla?
I wouldn't exactly. I'm not exactly going to be. I can't stand spinning music or anything like that. But what I
he doesn't like that.
No, I don't.
Right. No. Well, what do you expect to do? What do you expect to do in radio?
I'm not sure yet.
I think he expects to deliver the mail.
Yeah. Aspire to be is like something like involved in a radio show that like the Howard Stern show. Even in TV, I'm taking some TV courses at school. So as far as an on-air personality, I don't know. Like right now, I'm interested in like a lot of the TV stuff that I'm doing in class. So I think I could probably take it anywhere right now.
Boy, Letterman's potatoes.
I'd like to cook Letterman's potatoes.
Yeah. Or maybe Jay Leno's potatoes. I'm not fuzzy.
You really don't know. You don't have a clue what you're doing.
I just had a feeling that I was waiting for like the bad question, so I was like, really wasn't paying attention to what I had to say. I was just like,
I wouldn't pay attention to what you had to say.
I'll be quiet.
Guy says, "What do you want to do in radio?" He's like, "Well, I could do. I'm taking television courses.
Well, I could take it anywhere.
So why don't you go do a television internship? If you want to be in television." The guy said, "What do you want to do in radio?"
I have a burning desire to do television.
I don't know.
Dear Mr. Letterman, I have a burning desire that eats at me.
So here is my res ume.
You know what? I thought about speech classes and why sound like everybody else? I think my accent's pretty unique and original. So at least if you hear my voice, you know.
Not if you're from Brooklyn.
If you sound like everybody else does, what's the fun?
Really? Is it true that you have a handicap parking sticker?
What do you say?
Is it true you have a handicap parking sticker?
No. Is it true that Morticia does your hair?
Oh. I had a way to win him over, Gorilla.
I'll get you.
You're going to goof on a guy's hair?
What?
You're going to goof on a guy's hair?
It was, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, is this a Steve question?
Yes. Steve, in the vein of like Philadelphia, was it true that you were worried about contracting AIDS from the pay-per-view special?
No.
Oh, this is good. What was the question?
In that bit Gorilladelphia, isn't it true that you were afraid of contracting AIDS from the New Year's Eve special?
That's right, you didn't wear... Gorilla actually had sex with one of the girls and didn't wear a rubber.
Without a condom.
Yeah.
Steve said earlier in this...
Now you're getting really annoyed, huh? You wouldn't even answer?
No, I didn't know what to say. I really didn't. I was just... no. Yeah, I had no response.
You were burning a little bit.
What?
You started to get angry. I mean, seriously. You were starting to get a little angry.
Well, yeah, I did, but I had no idea what to say. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
You were not interested in Christine Scott's intern. Then I was wondering why I heard on the air you were like calling her like 3:30 a.m.
No, it's not.
Wow, they're goofing on you. The whole audience is goofing on you.
It's brutal.
It's like they know all about Gorilla.
What? Because I wanted to find out where she went.
Now they're asking him why at 3 in the morning he was calling Christine Scott's intern.
Where are you?
I want to find out where she was.
If you're not interested, why are you calling her at 3 in the morning?
Isn't it time for news?
Clinton has it easier during the Whitewater discussion.
Oh boy. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for making this a really great day for Steve.
Well, there it is. All right, good, Steve. Nice job. You're all shook up.
Yeah.
You're not going to go back there and sulk now, are you?
No, I'm not going to sulk, but I'm definitely not going to have a good weekend.
All right.
Oh, it's going to last all weekend? Bad feeling.
Maybe by Sunday you'll forget.
I can't shake these things.
I'm very sensitive.
Christine's waiting for you back there.
She'll comfort you.
Yeah.
She's waiting to ignore you.
Are you crying?
No. He is a little. I'm crying.
He is, right?
Did he really?
I'm not crying.
No, don't cry, man.
Come on.
It's good, man. You'll get some appearances out of this. People want to see you now. Right? Isn't that right, Gary?
Diamicalization.
Get your teeth out of here, will you?
Steve does appearances.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, nice job answering those questions.
Available.
I thought his speech was funny.
I think he should do question and answer wherever he goes.
Yeah. All right, very good. Thanks for sharing. There it is. Steve the Gorilla.
And do that speech again. How to be an intern.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know.
I don't know how.
We have to teach Christine if she's going to do something, she should record it properly.
And not only that, somebody should have written the questions for her.
Yeah, they could have been
great.
They weren't. Did she write those herself?
I guess so.
Well, she's not
I didn't
funny.
even know she was doing it.
She is not funny.
She's pretty. She's not supposed to be funny.
Why didn't she tell us she was doing that? We would have written the questions.
I I don't know.
Yeah. Again, you don't know. Again, you're out of it.
I don't know.
Gary never on top of
Did you
those
know
things.
that she was doing it, Gary?
No, I didn't. I don't know. I didn't know.
Again, he didn't know. What is it stuttering, John?
I have a professor on the air. I just can't believe that Grillo can't spell. I think he's like a middle school spelling.
Well, first of all, how amazing is it? I'll have to ask the professor. Professor? Excuse me, one second. Let me get the professor on here. Professor, how amazing is it to you that this guy's in college?
It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, let me say something. As someone who you teach college students?
Well, I have. I'm now predominantly in high school.
Yeah.
Where Grillo should be.
Pardon?
Where Gorilla should be, high school.
Right.
All right.
Hey, we got a lot of them. Trust me.
We're in trouble this generation, aren't we?
It's bad. I mean, the spelling that I even get in high school, we have on computers, or we do newspapers, in yearbooks. We have spell checkers with a couple programs that we use, and even to get the kids to even use that.
I know.
Difficult.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
Imagine you're applying for a job, and you don't look. You see, you're struggling with the word resume. Why wouldn't you look it up?
Well, hey.
And his only excuse is he wrote it in class.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, in class where you should be paying attention.
Well, why can't they have a pocket dictionary, man? That's what I did in college.
Dear Gary, I want a job. J-O-P. Unbelievable, right?
Are you sure it's like, someone that's done in elementary school or middle school? I mean, that's how bad it
So
sounds.
I guess you're perfect at everything, right, ma'am?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's why I try to carry a dictionary with me, but actually I used to enter in spelling contests, and I used to be pretty good.
Well, good for you, ma'am.
Oh, Gorilla, come on. It's pathetic.
It is pathetic. I have a problem spelling,
Yeah, but we're also talking and everything else. How do you get it? What school is that again you go to?
Hunter College.
They're going to graduate him,
I know.
Dang, that's bad.
Dang. Where are you from?
I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas. We're up here for a journalism conference at Columbia.
Hey, don't even try to challenge this woman. This woman is a full professor. Don't even try and challenge her.
I love it.
Bet you're flat, lady.
What? What'd you say? You bet she's flat?
Like I tell my kids, man, if you can't spell, then you can't get a good job, especially in journalism.
Oh, he's not going to get any job. He works for free. What job are you? I'll bet you end up in the mailman's office, just like your dad.
Nope.
Want to bet?
Sure.
You're going to be a mailman.
Nope. No way.
You're going to be a mailman.
Hey, my dad's a retired mailman. He can spell.
I bet you your dad can spell.
Gorilla doesn't even qualify as a good mailman. He can't spell.
I don't know. A Gorilla could pass the mailman test.
Hey, if he can't spell, how can he read?
He doesn't read.
Special delivery.
Are you really going to graduate, you think?
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Do you write papers in school?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess
he doesn't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they qualify.
I'm not sure what's a baber.
What's a baber?
Yeah, I write babies.
I write babies, B-A-B-E-R-S.
No, you write papers, right?
Yeah, when it's, I have to.
In between resumes.
I want to know what the teachers think of his writing.
Do the teachers ever critique your writing?
Well, yeah, I guess
When they stop laughing.
Like, what kind of grades do you get?
Like, like B's, I guess. I don't know. I really don't.
You don't even know what grades?
I don't know. I don't know what an average. I have like a B average, so I guess I get B's.
So you get B. So you don't know what you get on the papers.
It can range. Sometimes I'll get C's. Sometimes I'll get B's. Maybe I'll get an A.
Really? You've gotten A's?
Does he know how to use a dictionary?
Do you know how to use a dictionary?
Kathy Tobin actually.
Can he spell dictionary?
For my birthday, Kathy Tobin got me a little computer to spell check.
Why don't you bring in one of your papers you got an A on? I want to see it.
If I could find one.
Well, you don't know where you keep them.
If you got an A, I think you should keep that paper.
I think that's framed.
Yeah.
I bet you're a mailman.
Nope. I'm telling you.
What do you think you're going to be?
I don't know yet.
An executive.
Executive.
I could go anywhere.
An executive potato cooker.
I say you're going to
microwave chef.
You're going to be a bald civil servant. That's what I predict. Lifelong.
Are we done?
How does it spell occupant?
Resident throws me.
All right, we're done. You're going to do fine. Don't worry. You're a college grad. He's doing fine. Professor, you don't know. He has many skills. As Gary said, he has a lot of heart.
It's dyslexia.
Right.
That makes fun.
Right.
Where are the occupants?
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
All right. Professor laughing as she gets Believe me, not everyone in this room is such a big genius. Let's, aside from myself,
right.
maybe Robin. Other than that,
no geniuses.
That's all. Now listen, you're doing fine. You handle yourself very well. Yeah. All right, Gorilla.
Just don't speak or write.
Right. And you know what? I think Christine's going to go out with you. That's what I think. I think she's in love with you.
She's yours.
She's yours.
Why don't you write her a love letter?
Yeah.
Dear Grizdine, Gristen,
Grizdine.
I want to tell you the burning heart I have.
Yes. I have a knot in my stomach.
I have a burning desire that's eating at me.
What is it, Southern?
You want to talk to an administrative coordinator of Hunter College who wants to defend Steve?
Really? All right. Well, there you go.
Right.
Sir. That takes nerve. Sir, this is not a real good walking advertisement for Hunter.
I know that. Okay.
What happened?
Well, okay, I'm an admissions coordinator, undergraduate admissions coordinator at Hunter. First, with Steve's permission, and I can only do this with Steve's permission, I'll discuss his admissions to Hunter and record. It's up to Steve. I can't.
Steve, would that be okay?
That's fine with me.
That's fine with Steve. Go ahead.
Okay, first, when Steve was admitted, and Steve's doing okay at Hunter. He's doing a lot better than a lot of other students we see here.
Is he considered? Is he considered like a special student? No, I'm being serious. Like,
No. We have a special program for students who are not admissible as regular freshmen coming in out of high school. It's called SEEK, and Steve is not a SEEK student, and that's not to degrade SEEK students either, because a lot of them do very well here at Hunter as well.
So he's not like one of the retards.
No.
I mean, he's considered one of the bright.
No, I didn't say that either.
Right.
I mean, I don't know Steve personally. I heard him on the radio.
I hate school, and I don't...
No, Steve is doing fine at Hunter, first of all. His grade point average
Yeah,
is
but what
fine.
does that say about Hunter?
Well, when Steve was admitted coming out of high school, Nazareth High School, Steve gave me permission, so I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
He was admitted on special conditions, Steve. You were originally allocated to, I think it was Kingsborough?
No.
This sounds like a special case.
No, you know what? I didn't register at all for Kingsborough.
I know. I'm saying you were admitted to Kingsborough, but you met with actually my supervisor, the associate director of admissions.
Yeah,
I applied Hunter as a reallocated student, which is fine. And
what is a reallocated student?
Reallocated just means he was admitted to another college within the City University of New York system. We have 17, 18 colleges, senior and junior colleges, and he was close enough to our regular freshman admissions criteria. He didn't quite make it. He was close enough.
He was close enough. You took a chance on him.
But we took a chance on him. Exactly.
Right. So he barely got into Hunter.
They rolled dice.
So, I think
I'll make it even more interesting for you. I got into Hunter because the wrestling coach got me.
Oh, I see. So I think then that what you're really saying is that the average Hunter student is a lot brighter than Steve. It's just that Steve got in by the skin of his teeth in his wrestling.
No. Steve has exceeded what many students coming in under his circumstances has actually.
Really?
Many students.
Yeah, but he's in communication. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I was a communications major. Anybody can pass that.
No. I took communications courses here at Hunter on the side.
Yeah, I don't think you were sweating through those.
Well, okay, some of them he mentioned about the in-camera edit thing that he did. I actually took that class.
All I know is, let me tell you something. This guy can't even spell resume.
Okay, well, that's where I got to not defend Steve. And if I could talk to Steve for a second.
Yeah.
Steve, Hunter College has not one, but 2 computer centers.
Right.
Why don't you, I don't care if you wrote it up in class, you take 5 minutes, you run up to the computer center, you sit in front of a computer, you type it in there, you spell check it, you grammar check it.
Of course.
If you care, kind of stuff.
I mean, you want to exceed. You want to excel.
Right.
Rather, not exceed. What's it me? I hang around with him. If you want to excel, you must certainly go in and use the computer.
I know. I convinced my parents to buy a computer. I got a computer at home, and I've been using it.
Well, there's 2 computer centers here at Hunter.
You got to get it at home.
There's also a 10-story
Yeah, but you got to also realize that school doesn't. You don't know about these things. You got to find them out by accident. They don't tell you.
Well, why don't you go investigate? All right, listen. I had enough with him.
Found the restroom.
You know how it is. You have to go through channels.
Yeah, I got it. Please. I mean, you do have to make a little effort. They're not going to just,
Send Steve to my office so I can
Did you hear that speech he gave?
Yes, exactly. You know what? With your permission, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to put Steve in touch with you right now, and I would like him to go to your office, and you will give him a walking tour of the college?
I will take him around to every crook and crevice that this college has to offer.
All right, and you have my permission to pull his pants down and spank him.
He should be caned.
Can I use a ruler?
Yes. All right, hold on. Should be caned. All right, now you're going to have someone who, like a baby, will walk you around and show you where the computer is.
I know where everything is now, but when you first go into the school, it's like...
All right, thank you. I got to go now. Steve, thank you. Thank you for your speech.
Okay.
All right.
You're an embarrassment to your school.
Even this guy.
Embarrassment to myself.
Go pick up the phone out there with this guy, and I want you to make a scheduled appointment to see him. That's
really, you need help.
That's my gift to you.
Thank you.
I realized as you were talking, you must have had a birthday at some point. I didn't get your gift. That's my gift to you. You can now go meet with this guy. That's the gift of higher education. All right, thank you. Steve,
the greatest gift you can
The
give.
greatest gift I can give you is the gift of learning. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the news right after this.